Hey gardener, so I'm at an angle looking up today because I'm starting to harvest some of my Lemon Queen sunflower seeds. So Lemon Queen sunflowers are one of my favorite varieties, and I love tucking them in corners of my garden because really they don't take up that much space. You're looking at maybe about 8 inches across at the bottom that base and that root ball needs to grow, and you get these tremendous, beautiful sunflowers. When you first plant them, they're small and then they start to grow out. Lemon Queens get this beautiful, brilliant yellow petal to them with a dark chocolate brown center. Very, very attractive in the garden. They add lots of height, lots of interest. I also love these because they get lots and lots of blooms. Sunflowers have become much more diverse in recent years insofar as becoming different colors, different heights, fitting different space requirements. Some are going to be better for eating. Some of them are just going to look more beautiful. So picking one to be in your vegetable garden is kind of fun. You can get lots of color from them, lots of visual interest, and they make your garden look much, much more special and ornate than if you just had your vegetables in there. Now my Lemon Queens this year got huge. They're probably about 13 feet tall, some of them. Lots and lots of blossoms, bright yellow. They attract pollinators like crazy. We've had lots of little hummingbirds that have come to visit them. You can also notice too, and it's a little hard to see now, but we've actually had some of our pole beans that grew up our sunflowers. So if you time it right, you can actually have some of your vining vegetables start climbing them, which looks even more spectacular in your garden. Right now we're at very end of season, and you can see this one has some powdery mildew going on. This one is just kind of past its prime, right? We have our blossoms are dead. We're getting seeds in the middle. So today I'm going to also talk to you about harvesting the seeds from these guys. So we put ours in the ground in April. And once we had them in, it is now late August, so they've had lots of time to mature. That's why they're naturally dying off. Sunflowers will naturally do that over time. They're made to have a set life cycle and then harvest the seeds out. Now I'm actually pretty surprised. This one is actually a little more green than some of our other plants. I pulled this guy off of one of our other ones. You can see how dry and brown it is. Generally, once they get to this point, we have birds and squirrels that have already found them. So this year is kind of special because we can actually kind of show you how to harvest them. So you know they're ready to harvest when the backs of them start to turn yellow or green, as you can kind of see here. They're getting a little bit yellow. The petals are obviously died off. You can either take them when they're like this and the petals have simply died back. You can clip them this way. They'll still be a little soft in the middle, but you can dry them upside down in a bunch, put them in a brown paper bag in kind of a dry place. That'll finish drying out your seeds for you. Or you can wait until they're dead and brown like this guy. This guy is going to be just ready to clip right off and harvest. The nice thing about doing them this way when they're still kind of green is if you have lots of creatures that are trying to eat them, then you can get them off before the creatures have eaten all of your seed. So that's nice to have. However, these guys aren't the best for eating, as you can see here, and I'll put up some additional photos, but the seeds are quite tiny. They're not as fat and plump and delicious as some of the other ones, but we definitely want to be saving some of these either to feed for our chickens and also for our garden next year. So you'll clip these guys off, hang them up to dry, harvest your seeds. If you do want to roast some of them, they are still quite tasty. Even though they're smaller, you can roast them in the oven and salt them like you would. If you're wanting a sunflower seed that's perfect for eating, there's lots of varieties out there. So pick one of those before you decide to plant your sunflowers in the spring. So these guys are a great addition to any garden. Beautiful in an ornamental garden, just as beautiful in a garden with our vegetables in it as well. Highly recommend the Lemon Queen variety. You'll get multiple blossoms, attract all kinds of insects, and then when they're dried out to this point, you'll also attract lots of creatures to your garden as well, or be able to nibble on them yourself or feed your chickens.